Having lived in St. Louis my entire life, there are certain things that I've just taken for granted along the way, things that I never even thought twice about. And it wasn't until I started talking with people who actually aren't from St. Louis that I realized we have a pretty unique culture here. So here are 12 things that you need to know about living in St. Louis. The first thing you need to know about living in St. Louis is that we have some certain phrases that we say. For example, we say "ope," and I think it's kind of a Midwest thing, but it's intended to be, "Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to," or "Oh my goodness." It's just kind of a weird "ope." I don't know. Something else we say is, "Oh, excuse me, I'm just going to squeeze past you here." I don't have any idea where that came from or why people started saying it, but it seems to be pretty typical around the St. Louis area. There's also this fight over Highway 6440 about what it's actually called. So I grew up in Illinois, and growing up, we always called it 64. And then I moved to Missouri, and I started talking with people who lived in Missouri their whole lives, and they call it 40. Well, it's actually the same highway. It is 6440. It just depends on which side of the Mississippi you grew up on, but it's a pretty quick identifier to tell where you grew up. Another thing you need to know about living in St. Louis is that we always ask, "Where'd you go to high school?" Now, this question isn't meant to be offensive or to judge anybody. It's just meant to understand, where did you grow up? Now, I grew up in Belleville, Illinois, like I said, and when people hear that I went to Belleville West, they're like, "Oh," and then that's pretty much it. So growing up where I was, when we asked people, "Well, where'd you go to high school?" it was more about asking, "Who do you know that I might know?" But here in St. Louis, it's all about, where did you grow up? Another thing you need to know about living in St. Louis is that we have a lot of free attractions. I mean, you can go a lot of places and probably year round and not spend any money if you don't want to. We've got parks, we've got museums, we've got places to go, things to do. It's pretty awesome. Now, St. Louisans love their food, and we have a couple things that we're kind of known for. So we've got Emo's Pizza. It's the St. Louis style pizza. It's a very thin crust, and their secret ingredient is Provel cheese. Now, people that aren't from St. Louis may not even know what Provel cheese is, but let me tell you, it's amazing. Now, we're also known for our Gooey butter cakes, and if you haven't had a Gooey butter cake, find somebody from St. Louis, because I'm sure they have a family recipe that they'd be happy to share with you. Oh, and another weird thing, I know that Kansas City's really known for their barbecue, but we're really known for our pork steaks. It's kind of a weird cut of meat for everyone else around the country, but here in St. Louis, it's kind of a delicacy. I mean, my husband likes to grill them at least once a week in the summer. Another really cool thing about St. Louis is that we have lots of microbreweries and wineries, and some of them are in St. Louis and some are just outside of the St. Louis area. I mean, like within an hour drive. In the summer, it's kind of a Midwest thing, I think, but everybody goes floating. And that means you get in a canoe or in a floating inner tube and you literally just float down a river. It's the perfect opportunity to just kick back and relax, or people like to go with friends and spend a little too much time drinking alcoholic beverages. But it's a really great time. It's totally kid-friendly if you want it to be. Lots of places to go, and you can go camping around those too. And for those of you that are like me, who like to be outside, there are so many different parks that you can choose from. There's big giant ones like Forest Park, or there's little ones like St. Francis Park. Now, each park has a little bit different scene or different attractions within. Some have playgrounds, some are more walking trails, but there are so many places to check out. I mean, pull up Google Maps and just look at how much green pops up on Google Maps. Summer in St. Louis is one of my favorite times of year, not just because I like to be warm all the time, but because there are so many really awesome things to do around the St. Louis area. We've got free music concerts, we've got musical theater, we've got places to hang out. Remember, we've got lots of free attractions, and a lot of those are really fun in the summer. Now, one of the more confusing parts about living in St. Louis is the difference between the city and the county. Now, if you pulled up a map of St. Louis, you're probably going to be shown St. Louis City. It's the small pocket right around the downtown area, but St. Louis County actually wraps around that too. It's no secret that I'm a big sports fan. Well, more specifically, a St. Louis sports fan. So we always brag as Cardinals fans that we are the #1 fans in baseball, but we also have bragging rights over the Stanley Cup. The Blues won the Stanley Cup in 2019. If you're looking for something a little bit less large and organized, we also have two minor league baseball teams, one called the Gateway Grizzlies in Sauget, Illinois, and we also have the River City Rascals in St. Peters in the St. Charles area. Now, these are minor league ballparks, so they're a little bit smaller, maybe a little bit more kid-friendly, but they're great places to go and hang out. One thing St. Louis is really looking forward to is in 2023, we're getting our own MLS Stadium. We're going to have a brand new football club called St. Louis City, and I know that a lot of people are really excited about that one. And for those of you football fans who are pretty disappointed that the Rams left St. Louis, boo. We do have the XFL, the Battlehawks. Now, it's not professional football, but I hear from football fans that it's actually pretty fun to go to those games too. If you've lived anywhere in the Midwest, I'm sure you're familiar with the weather changes that we have, but specifically in St. Louis, we see all of the extremes. In the summer, we'll reach temperatures over 100 degrees, and in the winters, we've seen them drop below 0, and sometimes even into the double digits. I remember back a couple years ago, we had 13 inches of snow, and everybody joked that St. Louis was just shut down. And the last thing you need to know about living in St. Louis is that every single time we see the arch, we always say, "Oh, look, there's the arch," as if we've never seen it before. It doesn't move. It doesn't relocate. We just always say, "Oh, look, there's the arch." If you've been thinking about moving to St. Louis, give me a call, send me a text, or even send some smoke signals. But I'd love to talk more about what St. Louis has to offer and how it might be a really great place for you and any potential family that's coming with you.